We'll call the January 2026 Town Council meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody. Appreciate y'all coming out tonight. Any visitors we have? I know we have a few. We appreciate y'all coming out as well. At this time, we'll have a prayer from Reverend Duck, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Reverend Duck.
Thank you. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we look to you this evening and we seek your face, your guidance, your wisdom, your direction for this council as they make decisions for this community. We pray your blessings upon them, each one here tonight. Thank you for Appomattox, the town of Appomattox, its leadership, its people, its council. And we just pray tonight that you will guide, direct all things accomplished, that it will bring glory to your name and good to the people. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Again, we thank you all for coming out. As always, looking forward to the future. I'm hoping that we have a very prosperous year. We've had a lot of projects start coming together that will improve our town, our community, and providing for its citizens. All right. Our first item is a scheduled public appearance by Ms. Janet Hicks, Clerk of the Appomattox Circuit Court, to administer the oath of office to Council Member Jack Hensley. Mr. Hensley, you step forward.
Good evening, everyone. I thank you for inviting me to join you this afternoon. Mr. Hensley, congratulations on being elected to the Town Council, and you'll come forward and administer your oath to you. Please raise your right hand, please. Do you, Jack L. Hensley, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties incumbent upon you as a member of the Appomattox Town Council for a 2-year term beginning January 1st, 2026, according to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
All right, let me get you to sign your oath here. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. At this time, we will discuss the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by the council and will be approved or received by one motion in the form listed. Items may be removed from the consent agenda for discussion under the regular agenda upon a motion of any council member and duly seconded. Items approval and adoption of the town council meeting minutes for the November 25th, 2025 town council workshop meeting and the December 15th, 2025 regular town council meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Ayes have it, motion carries. To unfinished business. At this time, I'd like to announce that we've had one submission for the position of town council to replace the vacated position by Mr. Nathan Simpson. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept the submission of Daniel L. Ulmer for the position of town council.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and probably seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have the motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Ulmer. Ms. Hicks, are you prepared to present?
Ready to swear in the next one?
Ms. Ulmer, if you'd take a place up here.
And after your oath, you'll be seated.
Somebody will help you swear, and then you can take your seat. I'll start getting to work. All right, congratulations. Thank you. Please raise your right hand, please. Do you, Danielle Owen, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties incumbent upon you as an interim member of the Appomattox Town Council for a term ending December 31st, 2026, according to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
All right, let me get you to sign your oath. And get you to sign right there.
This one here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your council is officially got sworn and can take business now.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you
Daisy.
so much, Mr.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll open a public hearing for the consideration of the adoption by Town Council of the Town of Appomattox Comprehensive Plan 2045. Is anyone here to speak to this?
Before Jafredo gets started, I just want to inform council that this matter was heard by the Planning Commission last week, and they unanimously approved, move it forward for your recommendation to approve. Thank you.
Hello, Town Council. Happy New Year. A couple of months ago, we worked on the comprehensive plan, and I presented a lot of the demographics and data that was compiled, and even some of the survey results to kind of give a good composite of where we were. And I think a lot of the information that was presented was kind of concurrent with what was already, I guess, revealed during the previous comprehensive plans, and so we kind of updated a lot of the data and drilled down on a couple of points that were, key points to highlight as far as the affordability of the housing and how everything kind of flows. I guess the key points that were good highlights for the town. And so for this comprehensive plan, I kind of just, really just highlighted a lot of the information that was presented as well, put it in a concise way, and hopefully it's easy to read, easy to follow. So, hopefully you guys have had a chance to review all of the documentation. If there's any questions, I'm definitely available to answer anything you may have. And hopefully I've included everything that was recommended from either yourselves, the Planning Commission, or the town citizens as well.
Does council have any comments on the comprehensive plan?
Rob, you good with what you said?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of great days ahead for the town, thanks to the manager, and he was able to get a great housing grant opportunity that will not only provide some of the wishes that were talked to about from citizens in our open sessions and when we went out and asked people to complete surveys. So you're going to remove a huge blight from the town. And later tonight, you're going to have the opportunity to look at a rezoning. Again, that these are things that are going to come to highlights of what we heard from the citizens about housing. So yes, I'd like to thank Jafredo and the Central Virginia Planning Commission, all the hard work they put in, and for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Jafredo.
Sounds good.
Good also.
Absolutely, they've done excellent work. Rob obviously spearheaded this, and with Jafredo and the PDC, we really appreciate them stepping in and giving us a hand. It saved the town quite a bit of money, and we ended up with a very good product, I think.
It looks very good. Thank you for doing that.
If there's no more discussion, I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt.
I move to adopt. Second.
Motion made and properly seconded. There's no further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Thank you for your assistance and help with this process. This time I'll open a public hearing on a rezoning request to rezone a parcel of property located within the town limits of Appomattox from R3 to R2 to allow the construction of a single-family subdivision. The parcel of property is identified as tax map identification number 64A6-A-76. Anyone who'd like to speak to that at this time?
Being council, my name is Michael Bryant. I'm with Hurt and Profit. We're representing J.E. Jamerson with this rezoning. What we are proposing to do is rezone approximately 11.28 acres from an R3 to an R2 to allow for a single-family development. We're showing about approximately 38 lots there. That's using the minimum standards from y'all's ordinance on those lot sizing. More than likely, we'll have a few less than that. Philip is desiring to build something very nice, so he wants to have some nice lots placed out there and to provide some single-family residential for the town. Going from an R3 to R2, this is a lower density, so this is actually a good thing. There's a lot of times there's a concern with traffic and stuff, and the demand from higher density developments on existing utilities and infrastructure. So this is actually lowering that density requirement. So it'll produce some good lots, single family, for what's needed in the community, and be in like kind with what's already there. There's a lot of single family already around. So we see this as being a big benefit to the town, and it's right there on Oakley Avenue at the very end of the outskirts of the town limits almost. So we are going to design the site to handle all the stormwater on site for water quantity and water quality. And then there's existing water and sanitary sewer already out there that we could tie into. We will have to build some new lines and stuff to tie into that existing infrastructure, but we will be tying into public infrastructure for that standpoint. We've been working with VDOT a little bit on the entrance, and at this standpoint, they don't really see any issues with us putting in an entrance at this location. So I'm here to entertain any questions that you may have.
I have one for Rob. I just did, going from R3 to R2, we're not going to be in a position of spot zone or anything that conforms to what we've got.
And this will be a very similar product to what's over on North and Plant Drive. Last white, it's going to be a little bigger, but it's
All right.
the target.
So you good with everything?
Yes, sir. The
Good.
planning commission held a meeting last week and unanimously approved to the recommendation approved.
That's all I have.
And tell me again how many units or homes?
We're showing 38 on the plan right now, but that's just using the minimum standards to show what the max we could probably get out of the development. But more than likely, we'll have less than that.
Property have any curving or anything?
No, ma'am, no curb.
Nothing right now. Just to be, that's going to be a big, wonderful improvement for the town, in my opinion. And housing is at a premium. I think it's going to be a great project.
Question, how much is the ends of the lot close to Richmond Highway? So like how much of the offset is that?
You like the frontage or?
Yeah, so I mean like, well, I mean like, so, you know, at the frontage of the street, but I'm just talking about like other backyards and everything.
Oh,
How
okay.
close do they go to the highways? And
Some of them have like a little over 125 feet, and
Okay.
a few others will be a little less, but we're going to, it'll vary as we go through there. What we're showing there is fairly straight, but we're actually going to probably add a little bit more curvature to that road.
Okay.
But there'll be, the depths will be around, 100 feet, or there's a couple of them that'll be a little less than that just because of the geometry of the lot. It's not a perfect square.
Gotcha.
Can all that's the bypass, so it's all fenced, the highway's fenced
Oh,
out?
perfect, okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions? Does anyone else have any comments for the public record? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion, we'll approve it, if that's what you need.
I second the motion.
Motion has made and properly seconded to approve the submitted plan for rezoning. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion carries. The next item, election by
How
town.
about it?
Oh,
You are so
thank you all.
welcome.
Thank all y'all for
Thank
Thank
you
y'all
for
for coming
being
out.
here.
We promise not to be that long. But you never know.
Have a good evening. Thank you again.
I have were you appointed in 2023? You, as vice mayor, selected, excuse me.
He served his max and now he's up for re-up.
So I would think,
He has to be
Other
nominated,
than-
Mayor.
anyway, at this time, we'll elect by the town council for vice mayor in accordance with section B, officers contained in the bylaws and rules of procedure of the Appomattox Town Council. In accordance with this section, town council shall elect from its members at the first meeting in January a vice mayor who shall serve 2 terms since the current vice mayor was elected on January 9th, 2023. Council is due to elect from its members a vice mayor.
Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Connor, I would like to nominate Timmy Garrett as vice mayor for the next 2 years. I have already spoke with Councilman Garrett and he's agreed to serve.
All right.
So I've made that motion.
Question. We will have elections in the fall of 2026.
It's irrelevant.
Wouldn't it be, well, I guess,
No, we need,
That's-
this is to be done, this is because of our charter and the way that, the terms run, this is due today to elect the vice mayor.
I understand.
And the elections of 26 wouldn't play
Change
into
that.
any of that.
If I don't get reelected, it ain't gonna matter.
we will select
That's
someone
exactly
else.
right.
If for some reason the it is vacant, then you have to elect a new vice mayor.
This may be something we need to look at so that it comes after every 2-year election cycle. But it's not a major issue. Okay.
Well, we're in 4-year election cycle, not 2.
I understand that.
I thought that's what you just said,
I
every 2-year
did not.
election cycle.
I was
I must have
thinking,
misheard.
I was thinking it should be on a 2-year, on the
You know, I guess the issue.
23,
would be
25.
Not knowing, I mean, it's gonna depend on who you elect at any given time
Right.
as to where they fall. in that.
With the rolling election, so if for some reason Councilor Garrett was to not serve past 26, you take a new vote, that person would be eligible to have that seat for 2 years. But it,
And maybe we should have done it last January too.
Well, I
based
brought
on-
that up, Mayor, and
Yes,
I
ma'am.
was told
I
that it
don't-
wasn't valid. It didn't, he wasn't up for re-election
I
until
don't-
this year.
I don't know if there's a way to really match it up, because I mean, at the point.
Because
you
of what
elect
hap-
Somebody, you don't know
Yeah.
where they are in their.
Correct.
cycle.
All
Exactly.
right. So unless we do a total change of every 2 years in the bylaws and rules of procedure.
Change it, it still ain't gonna work right.
No, if you give them a 2-year term, it's not 2 terms. It would
Okay.
work. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Are there any other nominations for the office of vice mayor for the town council?
Did we get a second on my motion?
You just do a nomination.
Okay. You don't have
That's
to.
all, that was sufficient, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Appreciate it.
All right.
This time I'll entertain a motion for the nominations to be closed.
I will move to close the nominations.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
since I've done elections. All in favor of closing nominations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the nominations are closed. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept Mr. Timmy Garrett as Vice Mayor for the town of Appomattox Town Council.
I will move Timmy Garrett to be Vice Mayor of Appomattox Town Council.
And I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes have it, the motion carries. Congratulations, Timmy.
You feel any different?
Item 8, discussion and approval of continued funding and execution of a fireworks show in 2026. The cost of putting on a fireworks show this year are high due to the celebration of the 250-year anniversary of the founding of the United States of America. Discussion of creative ways the town can utilize to mitigate the cost increases and continue to fund the fireworks show this year.
So
Vice-
to bring up to date, where the contact, the guy who has been doing the fireworks, I think he's booked up, but Jonathan and Rusty and them, they have contacted this another guy that can do it. He's given us a price. His name is Daniel Harvey. He works with Mr. Pyro .com, which is a business he's got. He's insured. And of course, if we vote to do all this, he'll get all the paperwork, file the paperwork with Lonnie, the fire marshal. All that will fall into place. But I guess the question at hand, do we want to do the fireworks again as we always have? And the dollar amount, he said he could do the comparable show that we've been doing, even though the fireworks is going up, it's not to exceed 15,000 for fireworks. I think in the past, we've had 12 to 15, not to exceed 15. So I don't know, Mike, the line item that we've been paying it out of, I think was 12 to 15,000, but not to exceed 15, if my memory is right. But he says he can do it for 15 on the July the 3rd, 2026. And he gives us a rain date already too, of July the 5th. If it rains out on the 3rd. They've been working with Liberty Baptist Church to coordinate the event. Basically, Liberty will be doing all the other events. All we'll be doing is providing the fireworks and the fire department, and Liberty Baptist Church will be doing the other functions that will be going on in that same time for the community. So I guess the question is at hand, do we want to continue the fireworks?
So I believe with our updated procurement policy that we did, I guess at the start of my tenure here. At the start of my tenure here, this doesn't require any competitive bid or anything like that. And I will tell you that when we did the budget last year, we actually anticipated an increase in cost because it was the 250th year. So we have in the line item for fireworks $19,000. If you choose to move forward, the money is there in the budget for the fireworks.
So the procurement thing, we just got to figure out the procurement, or
Well,
he's sole source at this point.
As far as I'm aware, Frank, you can tell me if you think I'm wrong here, but as far as I'm aware, because of the amount involved here, we don't need to go to a competitive process.
That's correct.
Yeah, so that being said, if you ask me to, I will be happy. I was contacted by another gentleman regarding the fireworks, and there was some confusion at the time because we hadn't quite figured out who was going to play which role. You know, typically in the past, the town has just kind of, I guess, paid for them, and it's just happened instead of actually being directly contracted.
They'll have a contract for the town to perform the fireworks.
Right.
Say, said date and time and all that.
Right.
Other than that, the town didn't have anything. I think Liberty Baptist Church has the insurance on the whole function as far as the high school parking lot and all that. It's all on Liberty, I think, so.
Historically, was the contract between the firework vendor and, who was that, who was
I
the,
think in the past it's been with the town.
has been with the town?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check Jonathan, when he was on town council, he set all that up, reached out and took care of all that while he was on town council.
Well, if the price is reasonable, and if council's happy with this vendor, I think that you can make a decision.
We just need a motion, I guess, Richard.
I just want to say that before we vote, one way or the other, I think that this is a way for the town to give back to the community, and I think that's important. It's not our main focus of the town government, but I think it's important that we find ways, and we have done that, increase our kiddie park and so on. I think it's an excellent way, and we already know that our community wants the fireworks, because there was a time during COVID that we had stopped doing the fireworks. I don't remember how many years, and we were just inundated with requests, where's our fireworks? So I know that it's expensive in today's date and time, but I think it is an expense that I'm willing to spend on these fireworks. I think it's a good thing for our community. And not only that, but it's not just the town, I mean the community. And we have a lot of people from out of town that also come. So I'm all for this.
Yeah, I think it also falls into the context that this is a quarter of a century birthday for the nation. So, a one-time larger expense is not going to be overall game changer. So I think we should probably move forward.
It definitely wouldn't be the right year to not have the fireworks.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Great point, Daniel.
Well, I do recall back in 2020 when I took office, this was my first official act, was to kick off the fireworks show in the middle of the COVID pandemic. And I think it was a breath of fresh air for the community to get out of the house, get out and see other people. Might not be able to talk to them side by side, but at least we can do that now. So support this completely. Any other discussion?
How do you feel about Mr. Hensley?
Well, I think it's a great thing. I think we need to have it. Mike, can we, I know in the past we had like 12 to 15,000. Can we, if we make a motion to do it, have it, he said he could do it for 15,000, but have it motion it towards 15 to 19, that way in case something comes up that we don't know about. The motion will correct.
We haven't got a
You
formal
could-
contract
I
yet,
mean,
so.
you can, yes, you could do that. I was already spending the $4,000 in my head, but
We can have two of it in your head. Give us all two.
But obviously, yes. I mean, you have the
I just.
the line item. The line item is a line item. So, what since you don't have a contract in front of you, what
That's
you would
why.
be approving is moving forward with this vendor, and we would certainly want to see if there was, for some reason, an increase in price above and beyond $15,000, we would need to see what we're getting,
Oh, yeah.
because that was, we had 15, now, you understand how that works. So nothing needs to happen there. It just, whatever it is, it absolutely cannot exceed 19,000.
So I didn't know if that needed to be in the motion, that's why I brought that up.
It probably should be.
Not to exceed that.
Yeah, and it's just, me being me, I just,
The gentleman's agreement was 15,000.
Yeah.
Over the phone, but we gotta get a contract in hand and then we'll
know exactly what it is, but it's 15,000.
And tell me again what his company, what he calls his company?
MrPyro.com.
Mr. Pyro.
P-Y-R-O, M-R-P-Y-R-O. M-I-S-T-E-R.
Okay.
And I'll get all the information from you so we can keep, if we approve it. Yeah, MrPyro.com.
Well, what you can do as part of your motion right now is go ahead and authorize me to execute the contract so long, so long as it's not to exceed $19,000. And I would hope that the contract that he presents to me is for $15,000.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because we certainly like to save our money.
Yes.
And July 3rd is on Friday night, and
I will say also that it's wonderful that you all were able to make that work. For us to even have somebody on July 3rd this year is pretty good. Because there was no way we were going to get anybody on the 4th.
Yeah.
yeah, well, we normally don't ever have the fireworks on the 4th. We do it on the day before, the day after.
But the 3rd is
Because
a
it's
Friday,
cheaper.
so it'll be
Because it's cheaper.
very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't have to do it on a Tuesday, 5 days before the
Oh,
event
yeah,
or
because
anything.
that's, everybody works.
You said you haven't seen the contract, have not?
No, we gotta get the contract, but it was a gentleman's agreement, what, they had a phone conversation of what he could put the existing show like we've been having, how much it was gonna cost us, and, Jonathan's got an email, but I don't have it in front of me, but I'll get that to you.
And contracts are kind of my thing, so.
Yeah.
And Danielle, he's referring to his son Jonathan Garrett, who's the fire chief, and the fire department always comes and oversees it to make sure there's no sparks that will light up the field.
Coles Field.
Used to be called Coles Field, I don't know
Coles
what
Dairy.
it's called. Coles.
It was Coles Dairy
Yeah, but then.
in the day.
Yeah, but it was called Coles Field, Coles Field. More recently, he hasn't had that dairy for years.
So I will move to approve the town manager handling the contract process and for that said budget to not exceed 19,000 for the firework display.
With
That's it.
Mr. Poplar.
I don't think we need to.
Can we
Is
do
there a
that
second?
by?
Is there a second?
We have to vote, or we're
We
going
gotta
to do
get the second.
consensus vote? Okay,
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mary Lou. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Happy 3rd of July.
We'll get you that contract, stuff to you, Mike.
Motion carries. This time, council standing committee reports. McKinley, yes, please, sir.
I'm just gonna walk around with these. Okay, this is yours.
Thank you, I think.
All mic'd up. Basically, just wanted to give y'all a briefing of what the Council for a Day Committee has been up to. We have prepared a purpose. We have went over the overview. We have had 2 meetings, both of which had, the first meeting, there were 10 members who were possible to install, 7 of them attended. And then by the second meeting in January 8th, there were 12 members, and 7 of them were in attendance. So I won't go over everything that actually happened in the summary of activities. That's on number 3. Mind you, I wrote this up during lunchtime, and I couldn't email it to myself later on, completely lost it, so I wrote this up between 5:25 and 6:05 today. So if there's any punctuation issues, that's because I put this together in a rush. We had a lot of significant things come out of it. A lot of the documentation and paperwork is basically done. We're now bringing it to the individual subcommittees to go over the drafts. And then we have, basically I sent a whole entire email Saturday night, and I apologize for just all the information I included. But bringing in town staff to look over everything, bringing in them to bring up to Frank all the different legal questions. And from what I can tell through the findings and also through VML was that Frank gave us a decent assessment of what we're doing. Not too many large liabilities there, and then we just have one contract that is pending writing and everything, and I'll get back to you on how that looks. For Rob, now this one was actually the bigger surprise. Rob is actually quite impressed with the process that we have going on, and he actually wants to highlight what we're doing here in Appomattox, specifically with this essay process, to actually bring it to the VML magazine in the summertime. And the basic purpose of that is so that other towns and cities can replicate what we are attempting to do. And third to that is the Appomattox Middle School. Danielle has done a lot of heavy groundwork. I was not thinking that a school system would bring something like this into the curriculum. They have actually been in the talks about putting it into the curriculum, which I was just shocked with. So originally I was thinking we could have 20 submissions if we're talking about all 7th and 8th graders within 2 classes between civics and literature. You're talking a lot of submissions. So great work to Danielle on that. And
I want to make sure you aren't leaving out Cornerstone, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Because last year the winner came from Cornerstone.
And
They need to be on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. Danielle can attest to how that process works. The reason why we chose to have 2 members from each different schooling type, Christian Academy, public middle school, and also homeschool, is because we wanted to have a fair process to make sure every single voice was heard. So because of that process, in this next meeting, we have to talk about filtering, and even if we should filter the essays. Because if you have, 100 submissions coming from the middle school, and then 2 coming from Christian Academy, and then, 3 coming from homeschool, that's a massive overlay. And so we may have to assign at least, seats according to how many kids have put in and where they're coming from, just so that things can be fair and equitable. And then the last thing is for, we actually have a town council action form coming down the pipeline to officially request the final budget amount. We kind of talked about that at the November 25th meeting and what that could look like. And we have some dream initiatives that would really highlight us in the magazine and potentially cause some things going down the road in the years to come as we keep on developing this program. Other than that, I think that's it.
One suggestion that just popped into my mind would be that the winner would or the winner and the runner-up, whatever, they would get a trip to Richmond to meet some of that would really be I think if they were interested enough to write an essay and they did win, that would be, whether or not we did go win the state thing, that would, it's almost like government day that we went to a couple times or once with, and we could set it up like that, and they could go and watch if they're in session. Or meet some of our local representatives there.
Yeah. We are hoping to invite some members here. I mean, again, these are, people on state level politics, but hopefully they would be inclined to come out once we should set the final date, which is currently still being processed through the town staff. But yeah, a trip to Richmond
When is the
awesome.
VML? Do you know when the VML Mayor for a Day concludes, starts, or ends?
Yes, so that actually came out this morning.
Okay.
It was actually put in an email basically that it was going to be done by the end of this week. Surely enough, he popped it out right at 11 o'clock a.m., so I had to work quick. We did pass a resolution to do a vote by email, which has a 48-hour process, and it's because I knew this competition was going to come quick, and I wanted the students to have access to this as quickly as possible.
Sounds good.
So what is the submission date for
The
these?
submission date is March 23rd, 2026, and we'll also match ours with theirs. So they are kind of like the parent body of how this, of how the essay structure is going to run and how the submission process is going to run.
Okay. So as not to leave any potential participant from the community, any of them that go to other schools, like boarding schools, et cetera, they
Oh, yeah.
they are offered and included. I don't know how you would publicize that to them, but they need to be included if possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Any other questions or comments for the committee? Thank you, McKinley. This time, citizen comment. They all vacated us. Town manager's report. Mr. Campbell.
Speaking to Councilor Cardwell's Council for a Day program, checked with staff, and for your scheduling purposes, we're going to put together and provide basically a block out. Anytime we have a planning commission meeting, EDA meeting, or obviously a council meeting, then those times wouldn't be available. Otherwise, for your schedule, you would just work with your team and Diane to see when you want to do it.
That's good.
As far as expanding if you decide to go that route, that Ms. Spiegel recommended with actually maybe doing a Richmond trip or whatever, that's something I can speak to Rob about, and see if, coordinate with Rob at VML to see how he thinks that could look, and he's so connected that that might be useful. If you'd like, just let me know, and I'll go ahead with that. Pardon me. Just for your information, I believe the last bit of news I heard was that WSET was going to be at the garment factory tomorrow morning between 5 and 7 a.m. doing a live spot regarding the grant that we received. So they did ask for permission to be on site, and as the town owns the site, I gave them permission. So nobody needs to worry about if they see anyone out there. It's should just be a camera person and Rachel Tillable, I believe. As far as our budget is concerned, I think I've told you previously, I started sort of working on our budget in October. We're getting deeper and deeper into that. We have a draft budget schedule, pardon me, that I intend to bring to you at the workshop. The intention is for the budget to be completed by May 31st. We also are working on consolidating all of our budget amendments. We have quite a few that we need to make, from projects to salaries. We want to do that all in one movement. So hopefully we'll have that for you, if not at the work session at the next regular meeting. That's a little bit more complicated to put together. I think as everybody is aware now, we're down 2 EDA members. Jeff Garrett came in today and we spoke for a little bit. I know I appreciate his service. I think he was on the EDA for 8 years, and I think he was the chair for 7. So we have advertised to look for new EDA members.
Who's the other member of the EDA that? Is the other vacancy?
Oh my goodness. Diane, do you remember It's,
Remember offhand? Kelsey?
Yes, Kelsey,
Is
yeah.
Kelsey?
Kelsey Moore?
yes,
Is it
thank you so
Annabelle.
much.
Yeah.
Okay, she's not, does not, okay,
Yeah, so we have two slots available for now.
okay.
Kelsey Moore.
Kelsey Moore from Annabelle. And she just served, what did she just serve, like 2 years, I think. Okay,
So obviously, if you know anyone, I'm not sure when the deadline is. I'd have to look back at the advertisement, but it's probably fairly soon.
we got it on our Facebook page, I
Yes.
guess. I want to take an application or two home with me, and if I know of somebody and I talk with somebody, I can give them the application. When is the deadline for the application?
Deadline is February the 2nd.
It's when?
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Be here before you know it.
Because we did work for a while with a vacancy for a couple of years because we couldn't convince anybody to serve.
So the idea is, that our applicants will be in by February 2nd. Council would choose who to seat at the first meeting in February, right behind that.
Okay.
And then we would follow that up almost immediately with the first EDA meeting with the new people. And Megan Lucas will come from the Lynchburg Regional Business Alliance and spend a couple hours with the EDA, training, answering questions, and making sure that everybody on the EDA understands what their responsibilities and duties are. So very thankful to Megan for being willing to come and do that. You couldn't ask for a better economic development professional in the region than her. So we're blessed to have that. And then just kind of a FYI, we instituted this essentially the first of the year. The way that Public Works has historically done, Public Works and Utilities has historically done on-call. They had 3 people on call. And they were, the way that it was set up is the on-call, it was paid like 2 hours a pop, and they had the option of banking the time for vacation or annual leave. This has been what's been happening for forever.
Many years.
So essentially totally revamped that, did away with that. What we're doing now is one person is on call. Everybody has the understanding that they're essential employees, and just because you're not on call, if we call you, we still expect you to come in. Compensation starts from the time they leave their house. The on-call pay is flat rate. So if you're on call Monday through Friday, it's $20 a day. Weekends are $35 and holidays are $40. In doing it this way, we still ensure that we have an on-call phone, a physical cell phone that goes with the person that's on call. No, there also won't be any more 2 people on staff being the on-call person for the entire year. Everyone is required to do it. They will be assigned their schedule. If they would like to shift something or they need to move something, it's totally fine. They just need to work it out with their supervisor and another employee, and then I have to approve it. So I can make sure that everybody is actually doing their part. The end run of all this is projected savings per year of $23,000. So pretty happy to make this change. What we're doing is in compliance with the law. And this will obviously be, we've kind of a lot of what we've done over the last year has just been, by the say-so of the town manager. This is something that we've got written, and it's going into the employee handbook that I know that you all are awaiting with bated breath. But again, I think I told you at the last meeting or the meeting before, that was also, that it was not a document that we could, it wasn't like the comp plan. The employee handbook was not a document that we could just tweak. It needed to go in the garbage. So we've started from scratch. But we're getting there, and it's been great to have somebody here doing human resources. Amy Porter has done a fantastic job. And so hopefully we'll have that to you soon. I think that Chris McNamara with Virginia Housing is supposed to meet with Philip and myself later this month to execute the agreement for the grant for the garment factory. For your information and for the information of the residents, I wanted to be clear about a couple things. First, it's affordable housing, and people some people don't understand what affordable housing means. The units, once built, should rent between $900 and $1,200 a month. Should be 2 and 3 bedroom units. We don't know exactly what they're going to look like. I know that Jamerson has talked about ensuring that there are, possibly a few one-floor units on the ground level. At the end of the day, that's a decision left up to him, to them on how they want to do that. Our part of the grant is making this economically feasible to do by paying for a large portion of the demolition of the building. Which the last estimate I heard was $650,000. So about the affordable housing, it's not a voucher program. It's not.
Not Section 8.
It's not Section 8.
Not rent controlled.
What the constraints are and how we qualified for this is that the renters are required to make between 80% and 150% of adjusted median income for the area, which is actually, you can actually make a pretty good living at 150% of the AMI. Typically, it would only be 80 to 120, but according to Virginia Housing, I know that we had a discussion about another agency with whether there was some confusion if we were designated rural or not. But according to Virginia Housing, we qualify for 80 to 150. So it's a workforce housing grant. That is what it's for. That's who it's intended for. Chris, when we discussed the requirements for tenants and leases, Chris McNamara kind of jokingly said, it's not for somebody to have a weekend house, a place to stay on the weekends. The schedule on that is going to be a little protracted, and I don't necessarily mean the demo. The demo should happen fairly quickly, I would hope. But just good business sense and not servicing a lot of debt, in talks with the developer. The intention is to build 8 units at a time. You build the 8 units, you fill the 8 units, and then you build the next 8 units. And then all that is just about debt service and not borrowing a bunch of money up front when there's no need to. So I would imagine that we would see the absolute total build out, a maximum of 5 years. But the very good thing about this is initially just losing the garment factory.
Gone.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be such a tremendous difference.
Removal of the eyesore.
Yeah, and that'll make a tremendous difference. And
It isn't just an eyesore, it's blighted, and it's right in smack dab in the middle of our town.
Yes,
And then
ma'am.
when you drive on Confederate Boulevard and you look at that and you think, who wants to live here?
I think it's very exciting that most of the public feedback that I've seen has been good. You're never going to please everyone. I think it's exciting that it's that the media is actually interested in it, and I know it's going to be good for the town. I will say, speaking with Jeff Garrett this afternoon, you know, everyone, myself included, would like to have new restaurants. We'd like to have new businesses. We'd like to have, I've heard people say bowling alleys and all kinds of things, but you can't, just like we would never get a Chick-fil-A, you have to have a population to support these things, and you have to have housing for that population. And between this project, the garment factory, the zoning that you approved tonight for the single-family housing, and then now Jamerson is also talking about the development across the street. I would say that inside of the next 5 years, we'll have, well, just through Jamerson Real Estate, 100 new rooftops, which could mean 200 or 300 people. We have the ability to serve those customers, and that it just makes all the difference in the world in staffing and in what the town is able to attract.
Is that zoning for the old garment factory, won't that have to be changed?
We started that actually
Because that's business.
tonight, yeah. So that will, we will.
To residential.
We will be rezoning that to
Because
residential.
the acreage across the street.
And that will actually. when
That's
you-
already residential, isn't it?
You went from, you went from R3 to R2 for the development for the houses. This will be going from commercial to, or industrial to R3. Because R3 is for townhomes and apartments. End result should be 32 units. In all likelihood, at the intersection of Patricia Ann and Confederate, where the property is in kind of a triangle shape, that would likely end up being a small park, a green space. And I think it's going to be an excellent development. And then I felt like I had one more thing for you. Oh, I did. So I finally had a chance to meet with Aveo, and just kind of an FYI, I'm sure you've all seen, and I wish I had the date in front of me. There is supposed to be a public meeting.
September 30th, I think. Not September. I think it's the January 30th, but I'll try to find it.
Upcoming, and it's a county thing with Aveo. And so, but I guess the
No,
good-
it's January 26th
January 26th.
at 5:30 at the Taj Mahal. At the
2 weeks from Wednesday. No,
January
2 weeks from
26th.
today.
So,
Whatever day that is, beginning at 5:30.
it may, I just
It
want to make
says
sure that
Monday.
you were all aware of that, because,
January
that's something that impacts everybody, especially us. If you feel like attending, I will very likely be there. And it's just good. I don't know, where it'll lead, but it's good to finally be talking directly with Aveo.
Monday, January 26th, 5:30. I think that's a good thing for them to do, because there have been so many comments and questions. I know I've received several. I'm sure other council people have. What is it? What does it mean for us? Is our electric bill going up? What about the water? Blah, blah, blah. So this can answer some of their questions if it's well attended.
The last thing I'd say about that is
Okay.
again,
Will be.
whether or not anyone is for or against the data center, one thing that I always like to try to point out to people, especially when it comes to the energy bills, if you live in Virginia, you're going to pay for energy bill, for the energy for data centers. If you live in this state, you are going to pay for the energy for data centers. The question you're left with, do you want to benefit and collect tax revenue off of those? Or would you rather your neighboring locality have the data center
Exactly.
and use those resources that you will still pay for?
It's an excellent point, an excellent question.
That is all I have.
Can I go back to the employee one on call? We need to make sure the training backs up, because I think in the past, some of these areas, we have people inspecting areas that are chlorine, we have chlorine spots, we have confined space. I think we need to make sure our staff is trained. They're going from 2 to 1, and I didn't know we had 2.
I went from 3.
I didn't either.
Well, I know coming out to work on a leak or something, but I mean, just to be on call, you had 3 all the time, is what you're saying?
That's what the town has had, not anymore.
We just need to make sure that duties that they're gonna be performing are not duties that one person can do by themselves, because OSHA and all these rules, which you could be on top of.
We've addressed all of this. When you have, whether you have 1 or 3 people, if one person comes in, all they're doing is identifying the issue. I mean, unless it's something like turning a valve off or something.
It's something they can.
So when a person gets called, the person being on call, that person is just responsible for actually coming in, making the site visit and the determination. At the end of the day, David is still going to get called.
So you said somebody would be on call every day, right?
Yes.
So what does that mean? Is that after hours,
Absolutely, yeah. That's.
They're like a water main break.
I mean.
Everybody does a week at a time.
It does what?
They do a week at a time.
And let me just say, to make you feel better about it, Lynchburg, what he was describing, and I have a son who has worked for Lynchburg City for years in maintenance, and what you were describing was so similar to what he has done ever since he was in the water department, and he was in the building department, and now he's with the parks, and they have the rotation. One person knows, I'll be on call in 2 weekends, I'll be on call. They have a schedule, and it's one person. And but normally the difference is, like, they can, if it's a simple fix, they're able to do it.
Correct. Like I said, if somebody needs to shut off a valve.
Right.
Or, there's.
Yeah, but that's the typical way that a city government or a town government works. I did not know we had 3 people at the same.
Yeah, I mean, as the
There's
director,
some reason behind that.
There might have been, yeah.
Because you have 3 people, if they hanging around, they ain't going to the town and got a 2-hour time limit to get back. I mean, if we got water blowing out or the building flooding.
And if they,
but we were totally out of compliance with the law by giving them a window of time and by tying them there, we actually owed. Well, I don't want to go too much into it. What we've done is what is necessary to be compliant with federal and state employment law.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. My whole bringing it up again is I don't want after our employee come in, because he's by himself, one person, and they go into where we treat chlorine into the system and thinks he can go in there and cut a valve off because we got a problem and get overcome. That's what I don't want to see happen. We just gonna have to do some training.
Yeah.
The place can burn down before they go in and do that.
Yes, I understand your concerns, and we've got it under control.
Make sure we got that covered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, as you are well aware, my previous position, I was the Director of Public Works, the department of about 60 people, and a $35 million budget, one person on call. City of Lynchburg, one person on call.
And you can easily, if it's an extreme emergency, you can easily call with your cell phone, your city cell phone or whatever town cell phone. You can call for backup, and you can call David and say, we need extra
Well, that's exactly how it'll work.
Yeah.
It really, functionally, it's no different than what we were doing functionally. 3 people were not showing up. Three
I'm fine
people,
with-
3
I'm
people
fine
were
with
getting
what you're doing.
paid,
I'm
but
fine.
3 people were
That
not
sounds
showing
like
up.
a
I don't want.
Sit
people
home
getting
and
paid is not-
stay in the bed and get
You
paid.
know what I mean?
Well, when you're on call now, Monday through Friday, and you're on the schedule, you get $20 a day
Right.
for Monday through Friday. Saturday, you get 35, Sunday, you get 35. If it's a holiday, you get 40. It's a standard, every city I've worked for, every utility I've managed, this is how it's done.
I'm
And like
fine
I
with
said, the savings, the projected, and I say projected savings, I mean, this is apples to apples, $23,000. That's for the remainder of this year. So
Yeah.
40
Wow.
or 50 grand a year. Also, that just to kind of wrap that up with a bow, we don't bank time anymore. You get paid. If you work, you get paid. If you work 40 hours, you get paid 40 hours. If you work 45 hours, you get paid 5 hours overtime. The whole thing with banking time, comp time, it's nearly impossible to budget for. It also leads to things where, in the last year, there's probably only been a handful of weeks where all of our employees were actually here during full business hours because of the amount of time that they would accrue from banking that.
You don't have a system, I'm just asking, we don't have a system where you have a maximum amount, you reach a maximum amount of time on the books.
Well, we do. This is all part of the
have
employee
to take
handbook.
it.
So we do, but this whole thing was operating outside of the normal parameters. Having comp time put down at, it might be a time and a half or a holiday or this. We're just not doing any of that.
Depending on when
We're just
you work.
If you work, you get paid.
Yes.
You accrue the leave that you accrue, and you're allowed to use that leave because you've earned that leave. The way that the employee handbook will read when it comes to leave is it'll be based on years of service and VRS. The reason why I say years of service in VRS and not years of service in the town of Appomattox is because you cannot recruit somebody who's been working for Lynchburg for 20 years to come work here and start over and accrue 4 hours of pay period.
Yep.
And it's not right. They've been a civil servant for 20 years. So you'll have 0 to 5 years, 0 to 4, which would be 4 hours of annual leave accrued per pay period, and 4 hours of sick leave accrued per pay period. That 4 hours of sick leave will never change, even if you've been here 100 years. When you hit 5 years, you accrue 5 hours.
Wonder whose car
10
that
years,
is.
you accrue
Wasn't mine.
6. 15, 7, 28, 25, 9, and that's it. And you're allowed to hold on to whatever double your accrual is. So if you accrue, I think it's 108 hours or something like that, 26 times 4.
104 hours.
104 hours. Then you can have 208. And that you don't have to use it or lose it at the end of the year.
So the hours don't end at the end of the year? They don't cut off? and that's
You can
still-
keep accruing, so if you're here at year 1 and you don't take a single day off for your first 2 years of employment, ever, you can have 208 hours. Anything that you accrue above that, you need to use by the end of the year or you will lose it. And we are not paying it out. It would be a super special weird case where I would authorize paying out leave, and I can't even think of one. Because part of everybody's responsibility is to manage their time.
Well, that's the way it works. Central Health does that. You can only accrue, the city of Lynchburg.
A
and
great
Appomattox.
number of businesses
Yeah,
have gone to
I
where
mean,
they
that's a
cap
normal,
the cumulative.
And it's also nearly impossible for me to quantify the dollar amount in savings or the dollar amount that we could assign to actually having everyone here when they're supposed to be here Monday through Friday.
Yeah. It's a better way to do it.
All right.
And so I have I have to give thanks to, again, Amy Porter, to Frank, to Public Works and Public Utilities Management for working with me on this, for having to give them the news. And, I think it was received well enough, but ultimately it doesn't matter because we appreciate everything everybody does, and I want to make sure that everyone is fairly compensated, and we'll have those discussions in the budget. I want to make sure we take good care of our employees, but I also expect our employees to take good care of us. So, I'm really, really happy with the way that this has worked out so far, and I want people who want to be here. So I went on a lot longer than I intended to. I apologize.
That's all right.
You all did so well getting through the meeting so fast, and then I totally derailed it.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
No, we're good. Is that it? Thank you, sir. This time we'll do council comment. I'm going to reserve a few moments before we adjourn for myself. Ms. Mary Lou.
I have two things that I want to mention. The first one is on Saturday, I had the privilege of being invited to the installation of officers at the Appomattox in Suites for the fire department, and that was a very wonderful and meaningful event, and the food was great, and the camaraderie was great, and I appreciate the invite. And the second thing that I would like to bring up is I would like to remind and I wrote this on an index card this afternoon because I felt so strongly that I needed to say it. I would like to remind my fellow council members, and that includes Jim Boyce, who's at the emergency room right now, whenever you speak to another governmental group or any other organization, please be sure, I'm reminding you, I'm not your boss, I'm just reminding you, please be sure you remind whoever you're speaking to, even if it's one-on-one, or everyone at this group or another local government, that you are not speaking for town council. That gets us into trouble. This is not town council's decision. I am speaking as a private citizen. Sometimes people on council get to be private citizens. I'm speaking as a private citizen, and what I'm saying is my opinion only. That way we stay out of trouble, and I think that that is a good thing to keep in mind because when we're talking about all kinds of stuff, you can get wound up sometimes. And so that's just and also last year when we met with Kim Payne, those of you who remember us having that meeting, it was a workshop. It was about a year or so ago. He recommended something that we did not have, which was our ethics policy. We had never had one before, so I was on that committee and we created an ethics policy, and in January we had every seated council member and the mayor sign it, and we all got copies of it to agree to it, and that's very important. It's not part of what I said. I'm not trying to be preachy, but it's very important that we keep those, and I think Diane's working on that, and we'll have that probably by the end of the month, that we need to pick it up and look at it. As Mr. Garrett says, sometimes look at our code and our mission, statement. And remember, we have one. And remember that one of the things one of the many things in our ethics code is to treat each other with respect, even though we may not always agree. And so that's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Mr. Cardwell.
I think, number one, just for, working with the committee, Diane has done a wonderful job being able to clerk that and to be secretary of it. I wasn't expecting too much from the minutes, but she put in marvelous effort, and honestly, it was so helpful when we got back to going back to the drawing board and being like, okay, like what questions were asked, and she put down all the important stuff that I needed to remember to message Rob about, to message everybody about. So thank you so much. You've added a great deal in that role. Second to that is just to add to Mary Lou's comments. It's so important that I think this body practices what I like to call LUE. It's the loyalty, it's the unity, it's the edification. I feel as though all of our national politics, all of our state politics is just so down in the gutter sometimes, and we have to rise above it. And I know personally from going to VML and going to different conferences that people are looking for strong leaders who are about good faith negotiation and who are looking out for somebody else than themselves. So it's definitely very important to them. And lastly, I want to say thank you, Danielle, for jumping in and doing, first of all, being here on council, but more importantly, developing a relationship with me prior to this and helping me out with this committee. It's one of those things that I've been passionate about. I've been wondering what I'm supposed to do with it, and to have a fellow educator who is not just in the role of teaching, but also in the role of learning, has just been so powerful. So thank you so much, and I'm very excited to be working with you.
Mr. Garrett.
I have one issue I would like to bring to Mike's attention is I've gotten a couple phone calls about the buzzard population in town again. This is a buzzard, vultures.
I'm sorry.
The buzzards.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're back.
That's not what I was hearing. That's why I was saying, excuse me?
Yeah. Just air conditioning, I can't hear what you're doing. But concerning the roosting on the water tank behind the Colton building that we're talking about turning down, but the water tank, they're starting to roost on that again. And we've been in contact in the past. There should be some documents in the past where we've talked to the USDA about what we could do and couldn't do, as laws, how you go about removing them or discouraging them to be where they're at. So I think probably we're going to have to investigate that and see what we need to do. Because it is our water supply that they're roosting around.
It was during Gary Schanenberger's tenure, and they are protected birds, so you can't, well, we can't shoot in town anyway, but you can't shoot them anywhere, and you have to, you call him and he'll get him wound up about it again. We thought they were gone for good, but they're never gone for good, they're
I'm
back.
just bringing it to your attention that we probably need to look at that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I have quite a bit of experience dealing with
Because they've been
protected
roosting
wildlife
on
and
the
construction.
townhouses where my daughter lives, and my granddaughter currently lives, on the roof, and they will get on their cars and scratch. Just because they're walking across, you can hear them walking on they've gotten that plentiful back again. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Well, they do a lot of roosting over there at the bed and breakfast too.
And I mean,
They just build those trees over there.
they're,
So that's something else on the plate that we probably need to deal with.
he had some kind of a gun.
Let's
like
get ahead of it,
a noise
please.
gun,
Yeah.
that you
That's
could
all.
shoot them and they'd fly up
Thank
in
you,
the
Mr.
air, they
Garrett.
didn't like the noise, but they always came back. So, because you're not allowed to
I'll
hurt
tell
them.
my tale later. Anyway, Mr. Hensley.
Yeah, I too would like to welcome Danielle. Glad you're here. And I know you're gonna do a great job. So that's
Thank
all
you.
I have.
Thank you.
Ms. Ulmer, welcome, and it's your moment for comment.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, I look forward to learning under and with each of you and serving alongside you. So I'm very excited. And I appreciate the time that I got to know some of you during the campaign. So that was great.
Is that me?
Yeah, even you. No, especially you, Jeff.
Well, we're glad you're on board, and to go back to what you were talking about and the visit I suggested to Richmond, in today's environment, there are very few young people who get interested and excited about civics. There are some, but there are very few. And this is a way to pique their interest, and especially if you take them to Richmond for the day or for half a day and get them to meet because it takes up, as we know on this small council for this small town Appomattox, it takes up a lot of time and energy and thought and research just to do this, but we need people, civic-minded young people, because they're the future. They're the future of your communities. That's all I have to say about that. I'm glad you're on board.
Thank you.
All right. Speaking of learning, there's an opportunity for all in attendance tonight.
That picture of the
Of
buzzards.
the elected variety. Lynchburg Regional Business Alliance and others are having a informational day of events about data centers Wednesday. Begins with a breakfast at 7:30 at the Alliance. Till 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, an extended workshop session until 2, and finally a private dinner from 5:30 to 8. Is anyone interested?
As much as I would love to attend, it's my birthday and my wife doesn't want me to do
I
any
can
business on
understand
Monday.
that one. I have begged out of council meetings for that very
You wanted to
fact.
celebrate because you like cake.
Anyway, right now I am signed up for all the events of the day.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day. But I think it's very important for our community that we get out there and ask the questions to the people who are profound or admit to be experts and see what they know and what we need to know. So I will be in attendance to these events. It's not last minute. The email I got from the PDC says we are all, as elected officials, invited to the dinner. It's complimentary. I think they would like us to tell them that we're coming. If anybody's interested, I'll be glad to pass that on.
I believe that the time has passed for RSVPs.
That's,
Yeah.
yes, because I know I get the emails from Megan Lucas.
Yeah, I understand that.
The council members get them too, because
Okay.
we are part of her.
Well, I was going to give up my breakfast if somebody actually wanted to go, and I was going to drive a school bus. So, but if not, I'm going to that as well, so it'll be a
You
long,
can come back and fill us in then. On what
All
we've
right.
done.
all righty.
Where we're going.
Yep. I'll do my best to bring you as much information that we desperately need. I'm hoping that, as Michael admitted earlier, we can pay the price for the energy, but bear the benefit by having it local. So, good enough. Is there any other business to come before the council at this time?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made, properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. We are adjourned. Thank you all, folks.
Danielle.